Hello everyone, and welcome to the next segment of the Dark Souls 3 playthrough. This is the High Wall of Lothric, and I'll tell you already, I've already got through over half of it, and I've done this on a second character, but I'm going to tell you just some of the stuff to expect and what's going on. I'm accompanied by a friend of mine in the casual White Phantom summoning. First thing you want to do is kill this guy. He's a crossbowman, he's annoying. This way will lead to a second tower, as you can see, and a bow and arrows up there. There's two dogs, a axeman down there, and a giant wielding... Oh. Take that off. Giant... Yeah. Axeman, and there's a rather giant looking fellow with a halberd. Up here is a crossbowman and what is called a pus of man. You remember when Ludwig's Grundir went insane and became huge? Yeah, it's the guy right there in black. If you kill him fast enough... Oh wow, it's already getting invaded. That's unexpected. And a little inconvenient, but whatever. Well, since we're being invaded, I'll just hang back up here and force him to come to us. And that's actually a good lesson for people. If you're caught in a PvP situation, and this can be anywhere, make them come to you. It's as simple as that. Force them to have to fight you on your terms. The problem is, here has become rather a nightmare because people tend to not level and take high-end gear. And yeah, that'll happen. You play too aggressive, and it's unfortunate, but that's Dark Souls. So, we've covered that side. Down by the Axeman, there is an elevator that you can go down, which gets you close to the boss. Mind you, it's not that close, but it's still closer than having to run through the whole place. But always make sure to level up a bit, because, you know, invaders like that are going to be common. It's rather unfun side of the game. I personally would like it if they brought back the arenas from, I believe, Dark Souls 2, because those provided an outlet for these people who are essentially try-harding, taking, you know, top-tier weapons, beating 4, 5, 6 bosses without leveling, just to duke it out here against new players, and it's just not fun. Now, in here, this leads to the bridge and the first dragon. I believe there's two, the second one's later on, though. If you go up this flight of stairs that is being guarded, you will run into the first dragon, who will descend and breathe fire. I'm not going to trigger that because I really don't want to put up with that right now. I'll do another video later of me fighting that dragon, but as it stands, I'd rather not get into it. If you do have the dragon show up, the best thing you can do is get him to attack get him to attack one side, so have him breathe fire on the upper bridge, because then he has a cooldown before he can breathe fire again, and then you can run across, or you can have him breathe fire on this bridge, the lower portion, and then have him then just run across. If you wait a few seconds, the fire will dissipate and you won't get burned because there's fire on the ground. Otherwise you have to deal with that. It's minor damage, but it's still annoying enough that nobody wants to deal with that. There is an item on the corpse right here. I honestly can't remember. I cleared this stuff and didn't pay much attention to it. At the top here is a bonfire. Definitely make sure you snag this one. It's important. It's not that far from the first one, but then you don't have to deal with the dragon. You don't have to deal with, well, the dragon. The dragon's the problem. It's good until you get the point where you can just fast travel, or not really fast travel, go down the elevator. Down there, don't bother just yet. That's more or less for PvP, which I can remember. You go fight the Dark Wraith to get, instead of a cracked red eye orb, you get an item to just let you invade when you want. I think it's just a normal red eye orb. There is a crystal gecko up ahead, or lizard. The guy standing, once again, is a pus of all, or pus of men, so kill him before he transforms. As you can see, evaded it. Because they're pretty much mini boss level difficulty, and I don't want to deal with that. No one should deal with that. Thankfully they're not super common. Now, first we have these two archers, who, when we attack this one, gets back up. Nothing too serious. Then there should be an item down here. Yeah, on this corpse. I already grabbed it. You'll definitely want to come in here for some items regardless of what your build is. Be mindful there's this guy, and he does hit kind of hard. Granted, not, you know, two-shot, but if you're solo, it's not fun to take him on. There is a few items in here. There's this crossbow man. There's a bell ringer, and then another man behind the pots. In the next room there is an item, but there will be one visible enemy and one will crawl up a wall. Then in here, if you run along here and drop down through those boxes down to there, there's a chest, as you can see, right above my head. That contains the sword I'm using, which is the Astora straight sword. Good if you're a pyromancer, or anyone with faith already up to 12. Otherwise, in here, for if you're a sorcerer or someone without faith, in game, not anything else, there is the broadsword, which will be right here. Broadsword, good damage. Actually, I can pull it up. Good damage, good scaling for early game. I mean, D isn't the greatest scaling, but it's nothing to be mad about. Now, in here is just a cluster of enemies. An axeman, two axemen, a halberd man, and two dogs. One there, one behind these bookshelves down the flight of stairs. That first dog down the flight of stairs will not bother you. It's content staying down there for some reason. Oh yeah, right there, as he fell, was another guy with fire bombs. Make sure to come through here and take him out. As with the chest, grab that, kill him, because the guy with the fire bombs will cause a lot of problems. Now, yeah, with the axemen, it's pretty easy to deal with them. Just move around them and hit them. There's an item behind these boxes on this corpse, and there is one... Oh, looks like I am needed. Or not. Oh, I'm sort of needed. There's an item here. Make sure to grab it. And there is an item down here by the dog on this corpse. With all of those things picked up, enemies cleared, you will go on to the next section, which... Right. This guy kind of sucks fighting him. Now you can leap off the building here, but you're going to take damage. So if we backtrack back to where we encountered the first flaming crossbowmen in this little area, you can descend a ladder. You'll be safe, don't worry. There's a fair amount of space between you and that guy, so he won't instantly aggro on you. There is a few enemies that... There's obviously this guy who's faking being dead, and then there's him who falls up. And with those guys out of the way, you can continue. Don't worry about all the bodies. They can't... They're not like the animated armor from Dark Souls 2. This guy, he's easy if you know the combat system pretty well, but otherwise he sucks because of that spin. That spin to win will just ruin your day. Now, we've got a few items here. An ember to reverse your death and become kindled. Another guy faking death. Rapier in case you want more of a stabby combat style. Another ember, and we're good. Up there is a ring of sacrifice. If you die, your souls are more or less saved, but the ring breaks, so you have to pay to repair it. Now, up here is the shortcut. First we'll come up here because there's a few items to grab. There's the soul, and then if you run and jump and don't screw it up like I did, you can grab the ring. I'm not going to grab it. It's not a big deal to me. So we'll continue this way. And here, be careful. If you aggro... Hang on. I have no idea where he went. Oh. If you aggro this guy, he will cause 4 more enemies to spawn and climb up the walls. They're weak as can be, so it's not a big threat, but if you get swarmed, they can stun lock you. Now, this elevator, you hop on. Grab this item, some throwing knives, not fantastic, but they're useful if you have a dex build. Open this, and now you have a shortcut. So right up there is the first bonfire. So, you go back down, and you'll notice in the area we're going to, there are 2 fog walls. We're first going to go through, I'm going to go through 1 fog wall, and it's one you definitely don't fight in initially. Seriously, don't even try to start a fight. It ends horribly. First grab that. We'll touch on that in a minute. So we've got these 2 knights to deal with. Always summon people, because this becomes super easy. It's just draw aggro, someone else backstabs, the aggro gets switched to you, they backstab, draw aggro, again and again. Unless your teammate dies, which is rather unfortunate. And that's another thing you have to watch out for, is that knight can and will hit hard, and there's nothing wrong with running. There is absolutely nothing wrong with fleeing a bad fight. So, I'm going to go rest up, get more Estus, resummon my friend. By resting, everyone will respawn, but it's trivial once you get to this point, because I have to kill, what, an axeman, 2 dogs, and a crossbowman before I get to where I was. That's more than worth it. Now with full Estus, I'm going to resummon my friend, and we can continue on. Ah, there he is. Oh no. And that's something you have to watch out for, is those combos. Even the weakest enemies will throw just wild combos in an attempt to kill you. And in many cases, they can do it. And sometimes while you wait, it's fun to play with the ragdolls. Now, as I was saying, kill these knights. In there is an old woman. We'll speak to her, and you will see what happens. As you see, just taking these guys on as a duo is far easier. And I got a drop, so hopefully I get something cool and not their shield. Knight's crossbow, very nice. Now, we'll do a quick run in here. This also is a arena for a boss fight. If you attack this woman, you will trigger that boss fight and you won't get through it. Flat out, it's too dangerous for starting players. So it's best to just talk to her.
Ah, the wait has been long, unkindled one. I am Emma, High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone, to their churning homes, converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner to proceed. This farewell gift is for you. It is the insignia of an old covenant. If you fear trespassers, dark spirits drawn by the embers, then etch this upon your heart, and the old Concord will beckon noble blue sentinels to hunt these foul spirits.
Now it's important that you talk to her the second time to get that covenant item. Oh, gotta get a step out of here first, because that will get blue phantoms to help you, and that is extremely important for new players. Also, there is this knight. Don't take him on solo. Flat out, just don't do it. He hits way harder. He's a red-eye knight. And if you have any experience with the Souls games, red-eye enemies are just a nightmare to deal with when you're solo. As a team, yeah, wail on him. See, he's a pushover. But if you're alone, no. If you have magic, you can maybe, and I have to stress maybe, take him out. But if he blocks, you're gonna face a lot of problems. Crossbowman. Take him out. And now, because my audio is still crazy and Dark Souls likes to have their audio go insane during boss fights, I'm going to cover everything right now. First, I'm going to get another NPC summon, who, it's this right here that I mentioned. And if you look at his armor, when he gets summoned, it's armor from Dark Souls 2, which is pretty cool. But the boss is Vort of the Boreal Forest. He is enormous, swings his mace around, which is, he will let you know when he's doing it, and then he will do, once his health is low enough, he'll start charging. Don't hit him during that. It'll only get you killed. Best to just roll out of the way. And if he does his ice breathing attack, loop as far around him as possible and hit him, because he's standing still, and it'll cancel it. Otherwise, just hang back and wait for his effect to be done. And with that is Vort of the Boreal Forest. Now, all we have left is to light the bonfire and to proceed to the undead settlement. And it is here where I will leave it, and I will see you in the next one.